Okay, I've got 10% on my phone. Let's see if we can shoot the video in time or if it's going to cut out randomly. But I wanted to shoot a video today to mark 7 years since I released my first song. That's right, I previously released a song when I was 21 years old. I was very excited. I survived high school, as the Americans call it, university, just so I can get to that point where I can finally start pursuing my dream of music. And I did it. I released my first song and it got so much attention. I remember everyone at the time was sharing it. I remember my inbox had 140 conversations. Not 140 messages, 140 conversations. I know that might sound small time to many people, but at the time, 21-year-old who's never released anything a day in his life, that was big for me. It feels like my wait was finally over, I had this dream since I was 12 years old. Right, okay, I'm gonna be a musician. And then the time came and I finally did it. And when I had someone reach out to me and say, hey, we'd love to do a remix of your song, I think it will boost your song even more. One thing led to another. I worked with a label that eventually had a small clause in their contract claiming ownership of every song I released from that point onwards. And in a moment, this dream that I've been waiting, 9 years for, got stripped away from me very quickly. And I remember February 2020, that was genuinely the lowest point. Maybe at another point I'll get into the details of what actually happened, but that's not the purpose of this video. Today, I just want to share that it's been 7 years since my first song, and now this new beginning where I'm releasing music for the first time again. I didn't expect it to be 7 years, and I think if you told me at 21 years old that it was going to be 7 years, I would have been in a really bad place. So why am I sharing this? I think I'm sharing this because I know other people have their 7 years. It might not be 7 years before you release your next song, but it might be 7 years since that last relationship, 7 years of being single. It might be 7 years before you get a real breakthrough with your health concern. It might be 7 years that you've been struggling with a specific habit, specific sin, for all my Christian listeners. And there's something really special about the number 7. Like in the Bible, it talks about 7 days to complete the earth. It talks about 7 scrolls in the book of Revelations. 7 is the number of complete fulfillment and completeness. I said complete twice, but you guys know what I mean. And I wonder, why can things just happen quickly? Why 7 years? And in my case, I'm only able to look back retrospectively and see that had I released music straight after my dispute, my mixes would not have been nearly as good, my lyrics would have been inconsistent, and I might have still been legally vulnerable. So that 7 years was almost necessary for me to get to a point where I could confidently release music and do it right. And I just want to pose a question. Is it possible that your 7 years is doing something similar? Is it possible that your 7 years of you being single, of not having a first date for however long, is actually preparing you for a lifetime in a marriage with someone who's also been waiting for you? Is it possible that your 7 years with your specific struggle has taught you how to empathize with anyone else who's sick? Maybe it even sparks a passion. Maybe you get into medicine and maybe you have a newfound passion to help people that you would have never had. There's something about the 7 years that could never have taken place if you got what you were waiting for straight away. And I want to be careful because I'm not trying to sit here like a teacher, like a life coach, like a guru or anything like that. I'm a young man. I have some experience. I don't have all the experience. And I am just posing a question. Is it possible that something bigger is happening in your wait that you haven't paid attention to? It's funny because I was walking to make this video and I just chucked on this jacket. This jacket has multiple colours, a coat of many colours, and I just remembered the story of Joseph. Joseph is a person in the Bible, and his life story is documented. At 17 years old, his dad gave him a coat of many colours to show his love and adoration for him. His brothers felt really jealous of him, and they sold him into slavery. When they came home, they told the father he died. Joseph had years and years of struggles from that point onwards. He was in prison. He fled from Potiphar's wife, who was making sexual advances from him. And because of that, he got in even more trouble. Imagine running away from someone who's trying to honor with you, and that is something that gets you in prison. It's crazy. And it's like he was doing everything right, yet he was being punished for everything he was doing. It's the weirdest story. And if I'm honest, I still don't 100% get it. But I will say at the end of that whole story, he became the Prime Minister of Egypt. He found an immense amount of success that we can argue he would have never found otherwise. When he spoke with his brothers, he said, "You guys meant it for evil, but God meant it for good." So I'm not going to turn this into a Bible study. I know that a lot of people are a bit iffy about that stuff. I'm just offering a story. I'm offering my story. I'm offering a story that I've read about where the waiting just makes sense. Don't jump the gun. If you jump the gun, you might be destroying the work that the waiting is doing. I'm not someone who's going to tell you what to do. All I'm going to leave you with is, I'm really glad I didn't jump the gun. I'm really glad I didn't release that song 2 or 3 years after. It's tough to wait, but it's worth it, man. It's so worth it. And here's the thing as well. I failed at waiting in so many other aspects of my life. But God knows, man. Like, God knows what you can and what you can't do. Everything's written. Like, he knows what you can handle and what you can't handle. And he always knew that that failure was coming up. Does it mean that we should just continue failing? Does it mean that we should continue jumping the gun? Absolutely not, but God knows, man. He knows how weak you are. He knows what you can do and what you can't do. He knows every mistake you've made and you're going to make. And he knows what to do with that as well. But you do have a responsibility. We all have a responsibility. If right now he's called you to wait, it means wait. I'll leave it there, but honestly, this was not like a statement. This is actually more a discussion, because I really want to hear what you guys think about this whole waiting thing. If it's passive, if I'm BSing, or I'm sure there's going to be loads of people who are laughing at me for waiting 7 years and think it's completely ridiculous. I know it's not ridiculous. For me, it means something, and for me, it was very important. And I'll leave you with this. I did try to jump the gun, but I couldn't. There was always something stopping me. So if there's friction, don't force it. Trust that God is doing something. But yeah, would love to hear your guys' thoughts. And I'm gonna call it there. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I want to hear from you guys soon.